This morning, you'll have noticed, we're reporting on the flow of migrants from North Africa to Europe. Officials on the Italian island of Lampedusa say thousands are attempting the journey each week. Let's head over to Greece now and talk to Christy Lefteri. Now, she's an author whose latest book focuses on how migration affects motherhood. She's also worked with Afghan refugees herself. Christy, really good to see you this morning. Let's start, though, first with the book itself, Songbird, a focus on migrants and their tales. Just tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, I decided to write Songbirds. I mean, I've dedicated my career and my research to exploring and understanding the treatment of migrants and refugees. And in my latest novel, Songbirds, is set in Cyprus, and it's based on a true story about 5 migrant domestic workers and 2 children who went missing in Cyprus a few years ago. And unfortunately, the authorities and the police wouldn't search for them because they were foreign. So the novel seeks to understand the deeper voices of these women and to understand the sacrifices and the reasons for making such incredible journeys, and what they're actually met with, the treatment that they receive once they arrive in the country that they hope to stay in.
I mean, certainly the past few years will have provided ample source material for your novel. There are countless heartbreaking tales in real life of the situation that migrants face. But as mentioned, you have worked with Afghan refugees yourself. I wonder your thoughts about what you have seen in terms of the collapse of that country over the past few days.
So when in 2016 and 2017, I worked at a refugee centre in Athens, where actually I am now, in Athens, in a women and children's centre, which was a place for safety for women and children. There was a play area for children, and an area for new mothers who had given birth on the journey. So we're talking about 2016, 2017, and I heard so many stories about people who were fearful of staying in their own countries, who loved their home but had to leave, and arrived in Greece or wherever else they were arriving, because often they'd gone to many other places as well before getting to Greece. But they arrive in these places hoping to find acceptance, security, safety, and often being met with the opposite. And I remember there's so many stories I could tell about children who, I went back after 2016, it was a drop-in centre. In 2017, it turned into an activity centre. So we were teaching German, well, I was teaching English and Greek, and I could see how much these children wanted to learn, wanted to have an education, wanted to have a hope for the future. And this is what I've learned from listening to the stories, from even writing my current book, Songbird, what it means to make incredible journeys and to as human beings, and this is something we all, I think, have in common, is that desire, that need that we have to have a hope for the future. And what I've seen in my research is, in the last few days, seeing what's happening, it makes me incredibly sad, because I realize how fearful people were then.
Yep.
And the situation now is so much worse.
Christy,
and I can only imagine now what people are going through.
I am so sorry, Christy. We are entirely out of time, but I think people understood what you were saying there. I really appreciate you joining us in the programme. Thanks very much.